In the beginning, God created heaven and earth. The earth was formless and empty, and darkness covered the deep water. The Spirit of God was hovering over the water.
My name is John Mowell.
God
I'm
said,
from the
"Let there
Fartown
be
Church
light."
in Huddersfield, West Yorkshire. We're part of two main churches in the area. You've got the Huddersfield main church. That's got their class as the Huddersfield Seventh-day Adventist Church. And then out of that, we came out of that to have a branch, but we're now kind of form a church in our own right. And it's called the Fartown SDA Church. And simply because of the area of where it was located. We've actually moved from there now, but we're renting somewhere. So we're going to have our own building. So it'll probably have to be renamed again. But as things stand, we're the Fartown Seventh-day Adventist Church. I was born in London. I'm a Londoner. But I married a lady from Huddersfield named Cheryl, and we have a son named Daniel, who's about 14 now. And so, as you can know, we live in an area. I work for the local authority. I work with adults with learning disabilities and older people. So I manage like a day centre. And I've been doing that for the last for as long as I've been married. We've been married for 20, this will be our 23rd year that we've been married. This project, one is about evangelism. So the project is an app. And it came about because I watched my son play, games, and I thought, well, what can we do? And I researched it, and there are lots of Christian apps around. There are, and I thought, well, what can we do? How can we reach our own? And people have things about apps and computer games and how they can be addictive. I understand that, but hopefully this is about It really is about proclaiming Jesus Christ. It's simple, easy to play, and in the initial stage, it's really to promote the gospel. Reach out to people who may not want to come to church, but are quite happy to say, all right, well, let's see what this is about. It's a simple 12 very short stories, if you like, the plan of salvation. It starts off with the war in heaven. So, the child will be playing it, and, Michael shoots at Satan drops, and then it goes into creation. Then it goes into the fall of man, and it literally goes on. Then it has Abraham and Isaac, then Moses crossing the Red Sea. So it literally goes through the Old Testament, some stories, and then it goes into the New Testament. So you will have the raising of Lazarus, which looks at resurrection from our point of view. Then obviously Jesus dying on the cross, the resurrection of Jesus, the fall of Satan, if you like, and then finally, as best we can picture it, we've got this thing where it shows you the New Jerusalem. So it really comes as much as it can through the Bible from start to finish. And if you want to look at it as a way of short introduction to the Word, and then hopefully the child may have it as a devotion with their parents. For the adult who plays it, it is childish. It's really from about 4, 5 to 12, if I'm being totally honest. But if you feel that's something you want to play as an adult, you feel free to do so. But you have been told, and then you think, okay, where does that story come from? Then you go and read it more for yourself. And then for kids and adults, you might say, oh, you can share that app with others. As a witnessing tool. So they may not come to church, but even if they, all right, I'll have a look at that app, and then they'll say, all right, what's the story about? Okay, let me read more about that Moses. Let me read a little bit more about Abraham and Isaac. Oh, okay, Jesus on the cross. Let me read a little bit more about that. So if that's a way that we can introduce youngsters and others alike through the app, then, to God be the glory. We formed a company. The company is called Lifted Up Games. And that originates from where in John chapter 12, where Jesus said, if I be lifted up, and then I will draw all men unto me. So that's its root. So it's Lifted Up Games. It has been funded by myself, so there is a cost to it. I'm not going to deny that. It's minimal. For UK it's about 99 pence. So it's not like it's going to break the bank. And God willing, will pay for what we've put towards it. And then whatever's left, all I will say to that is, to God be the glory. So if you go into Lifted Up Games limited.com, that was our webpage. From there, you'll be able to know more about us, more about the app itself. And then the app itself will be available from the App Store from the 27th of this month, January, shall I say, yeah, 27th of January, which will be from Apple and Google, right? It will be, it'll be Lifted Up Games, and it'll be called Second Coming of Christ. So the app will be Lifted Up Games, Second Coming of Christ. You'll see like a picture of Christ as you can imagine him, and you can download the app from there, and that will be available from Monday, the 27th of January. So people can download the app from there, whether they have an iPhone or any Android phone through Google Play.